Hi everyone and welcome back to another Rainbow Six video. Today I'll be giving some quick tips on playing all the GIGN operators both for attack and defense, so sit back, relax and enjoy the show. So today's video is part 3 of 5 parts of my Rainbow Six operator tips by counter-terrorist units, or CTU for short. A couple of weeks ago I covered the SAS and FBI operators in their own separate videos, and so now in this video we'll be covering the GIGN operators. If you've watched my previous video on the other CTUs, then you'll know that these videos will focus on my thoughts and tips on playing the operators effectively from each of the original available CTUs. The plan is not to go too in-depth into each operator and their guns, but just cover very briefly how I like to play each operator in terms of their gadgets and what I think is a good way of playing them to effectively win rounds. The main goal for these guides is to help new players decide which operators they want to purchase first, since renown is precious at the beginning, and also to give them some tips on how to play each operator effectively. These tips may even be helpful for seasoned players who maybe haven't got a chance to try out certain operators, so stay tuned and maybe you learn something. As with all other original CTUs in Rainbow Six Siege, there are 4 operators in the GIGN CTU, 2 in attack and 2 in defense, and these are Twitch, Montagne, Rook and Doc. So to start off, let's talk about the attacking operators first. Starting with Twitch, while her FAMAS is awesome, we're trying not to talk about weapons here, so I think her biggest strength without considering her weapons is the amount of support that her shock drone gives. In addition to the intel that her shock drones can give, her 2 available shock drones also allow her to take out her enemies' electronic gadgets and cameras that she finds, as well as the red gas canisters that are found on Mira's black mirrors. This ability is very useful for a multitude of scenarios. During the preparation phase, taking out the cameras that you can reach with the shock drone helps to save you some time during the round, and furthermore it also makes it harder for vigilant enemies to determine roughly how many teammates are coming from each direction when the round starts, so pretty good I would say. During the round, if you find reinforced walls that are protected by bandits' batteries or even mutes jammers, and your team doesn't have a thatcher, you can carefully maneuver your drone in there to take them out so that your thermite or hibana can destroy these reinforcements. Besides that, while you're scouting about for roamers and you find C4s, smokes, poison canisters, capcan traps or Valkyrie cameras sitting around, you can go ahead and take them out there and then, leaving you and your team with less work later on in the round. Using your drone to take out Jaeger's ADS systems will also allow your team to throw their grenades into the objective room freely without worry, so that's pretty good. Like I mentioned earlier, taking out those red gas canisters on Mira's black mirrors is also super useful since now you have some murder holes into the objective room. So basically not much to say about Twitch other than the fact that her shock drone is super effective at supporting your team, and so try to keep it alive for as long as possible. Like Ash, Twitch can do the clearing out roamers job quite effectively as well, and so you might want to do that and once in a while use your drone to support your team. While you're already in the building, you can put down a claymore first if you don't feel super safe, and then go on your drone and go around taking out your enemies' equipment while scouting ahead for enemies, I guess. The shock drone is very good for this, and so definitely try to remember to use the shock drone more often. I know it can sometimes be easy to forget using it when the round heats up or something, but Rainbow Six Siege is a game where stopping for a few seconds to analyze what you should do next is often helpful regardless of what operator you play. Moving on, let's talk about Montagne. Being that there's only 2 proper shield operators in the game right now, it's easy to say that he's the current best shield operator in the game. Anyway, Montagne's biggest strength is his ability to support his team by effectively distracting the enemy while in relative safety, and relay crucial information to his teammates at the same time. With his shield extended, Montagne is almost invulnerable from the front, and a little bit on the sides. Bullets can't go through the shield, and so the only thing able to damage him from the front are explosives. And even then the explosives don't kill him if he's still healthy. Having said that though, he's still quite vulnerable from the back and the sides, so you do still have to be a bit careful when playing with him. Enemies might often try to sprint and try to knife you from the side if they are in a 1v1 situation, so do be careful of that. Because of your slow and sluggish movements, these 1v1 fights are a bit tough for Montagne, so do try to have allies with you as often as you can. With his shield extended, he can actually block off an entire standard doorway all by himself, and defenders cannot pass through it at all. Sometimes, if all the defenders in the objective room are dead, and there's only one doorway in and out of the objective room in the secure area game mode, Montagne could just stand at the doorway with his shield up and single-handedly win the round because the defender just cannot get back in. This is of course provided he's still safe from the sides and the defenders have no way of shooting at him from another angle. When playing Montagne, I like to use his shield to safely make sure rooms far away from the objective are clear of roamers before making my way to the objective room. Preferably, I do this with one other teammate though, and a Jackal would be fantastic to do this with. When at the objective room, I would walk in and out of the room to try to gain intelligence with my shield up. The reason for doing this instead of using a drone would be to tempt the defenders to move from their spots and try to do something about you. As they contemplate what to do with you, your teammates should take the chance and try to pick off whoever they can. This tactic differs in its effectiveness depending on the level of your opponents and your team, of course. After all, the more experienced the enemies are, the more unlikely it is for them to fall for it. But either way, as long as you do it safely and correctly, there should be no loss in doing it, and should hopefully allow your team to somehow find a weakness to their defense. And so basically for Montagne, keep your shield up as much as possible, and try to flush out roamers with a teammate before going toward the objective room. Mess with them safely while you're there, and hopefully your teammates can mop up the rest. The only time you should aim down the sights to shoot is if you're 100% sure that there's no one else aiming at you, since most experienced players can take advantage of that slow animation and shoot you in the head before you can properly line up a shot on them. When you're not certain about your safety, try getting closer to the enemy before trying to shoot them with your pistol in hipfire mode though. Hipfire mode is pretty effective in close ranges for shield operators. Now we move on to the defense operators, and let's talk about Rook first. There's probably not too much to say about Rook because his ability is literally the simplest in the game. Just put the armor plates down and get people to take it if they forget. That's it. But having said that, those armor plates have such a huge impact to the survivability of the defending team that he is typically considered a must-pick most of the time. The armor plates typically not only makes defenders take less damage from enemy bullets, but it also makes it less likely to instantly get killed by explosions. Of course, a direct headshot or an explosion right next to you will still kill you instantly, but a few body shots and explosions that are at least a bit further away will typically only down you, and this gives your teammates a chance to try to help you out. Pretty damn awesome, I would say. Since there's not much to say about his unique gadget, I'll elaborate a bit on his secondary gadgets. Rook has access to either the impact grenades or the deployable shield, and I think that they both fit Rook quite a bit. As a 3 armor operator, Rook's playstyle typically revolves around staying near the objectives and trying to defend them. So the deployable shield really helps him to fortify in a strategic corner and hopefully delay or stop enemy pushes from a certain direction. In objective rooms which are smaller or harder to defend, those impact grenades help Rook to set up different line of sight, and perhaps he can defend the objective room from an adjacent room or something. So I would say there is some versatility to how you can play Rook. Finally, our last GIGN operator is Doc. Doc's unique gadget allows him to heal his teammates or to revive down but not out allies. And while it is less effective against enemies who go for headshots, it can be pretty effective in lower levels of play where less headshots go around there. Doc is also another operator best used to defend the objective room rather than roam around, and this is not only because of his gadget but his armor and speed rating as well. Since there's usually at least 2 to 3 people that are supposed to be defending around the objective room, Doc's gadget can be put to good use there and make it that much more difficult for attackers to attack in. Teammates who just got damaged by enemy fire can be healed up, and those who are down can be brought back up instantly with bonus health too. That in itself is pretty helpful. Another good thing about having this ability is that this may cause attackers to overextend as they try to finish the job after downing a defender. This opens up an opportunity for you or your other teammates to maybe get a drop on them instead and turn the tables that way. Well, that's just a possibility to look out for anyways. So Doc is pretty straightforward, I suppose. Defend the objective areas and just heal or revive as necessary. You should also make use of his secondary gadgets to help with your defense of these objective areas, just like with Rook. The deployable shield will help you when you need to fortify in a corner, while the barbed wire that Doc has access to can make it hard for enemies to enter through key entranceways. Very nice. And so that's about all I have to say about the GIGN operators. It was a pretty short video, but I hope you found it useful and you enjoyed watching it. If you did, be sure to like, comment and share this video with your friends. More gaming related video content will follow, whether it be Rainbow Six or any other game that I enjoy playing, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos as well. I would greatly appreciate any and all support. Thank you so much for watching the video, and until next time guys, have a great day, keep gaming, stay chill, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.